Rangers of Shadowdeep by Joseph A. McCullough. Today we're going to be continuing Mission 3. What is Mission 3 called? It has a specific name. Descent into Darkness. So we're descending down. We fought some giant flies the size of your head. We wound up wading through a swamp. And now finally we are into the Shadowdeep proper. And we are going to be playing Scenario 3 in Mission 3, The Last Stand, where we're finally going to get to save some peoples. And here's today's table setup. The ruined farmhouse somewhere in the Shadowdeep. Now, it used to be called Eternia, but Eternia got swallowed up by some nameless evil, and we're trying to discover what the nature of that evil is. So He-Man was able to get out of Eternia and gather some aid from the neighboring country from his friends, Ukla, Princess Ariel, and Thundar the Barbarian. Thundar over here is our ranger, and he and his friends are now scouting out the Shadowdeep, and they have discovered a ruined farmhouse. The first living thing they've seen or heard that wasn't obviously evil are voices inside the farmhouse. There are some soldiers of Eternia who have holed up here with a few survivors of the apocalypse, the Shadowdeep apocalypse, and now our boys got to get into the farmhouse, rescue those survivors, and get out. But horns sound in the distance, and bad guys are coming from the swamp. Before we get to that first turn, though, we should probably talk about the terrain, just kind of establish things. This is a ruined farmhouse. There is a center wall that blocks these two rooms. There are windows here. I've drawn them in blue. This is the best I can do with a floor plan on a table like you see. We do have some rough ground that has movement, but not line of sight. You can't move through the deep swamp there, and down here we have more broken ground. The log and the rocks block line of sight, but let's say the whole thing is half movement, so you can move across them at half movement, but the only two features that block line of sight are the log and the rocks. And then these big bushes and the rocks, they block line of sight and movement. Of course, we've got low stone walls here. We got a couple of big piles of rotting hay, and then the tall grasses here, we'll say those have movement and block line of sight as well. Just in case it isn't clear, we do have walls between the two rooms and around all of the corners. Anywhere you see a door, the blue, that's where our doors and windows are. Notice that we have 4 civilian figures inside the house. We also have 2 Eternian archers and 1 Eternian man-at-arms here. Our ranger and companions start outside this back door, I guess you would call it. And we're going to play 12 turns. On the start of the first turn, we're going to draw 3 cards from our event deck, and look how thick this event deck is today. 15 cards already shuffled up. I think we're about ready to go. I do have a turn counter here, so if we put this, let's put this right in the center of the room. That'll tell you where we're at in our turn count. At the start of the game, nominate a figure to make a traps roll, toughness number 6. If you're successful, you can make 1 free +3 shooting attack. With a 14, so we get our little bonus attack, shooting at +3, to represent the fact that we've had a little bit of time to prepare. Remember, we heard the horns in the distance? So that's good. Now, let's go ahead and draw our first 3 cards and find out what happens on turn number 1. These guys will all be activated on the companion phase, unless I want to. I can activate 2 guys on each turn. Or, once per game, I can activate 3 because Thundar here, he's a pretty boss. Just to show you we're on the level, we're going to go ahead and cut this deck like so, and then we draw the top 3 cards. We get a 2, a jack, and a 5. If we check our random events, with the 2, place 1 Knoll Sergeant and 3 Knoll Fighters at a random point on the table edge. What else do we get? We got a 5 and a jack. With the 5, we're going to place 3 zombies. And with the jack, we're going to place 1 burrow worm in the center of the large room of the farmhouse. Oh man, he's right by our civilians. All right, here's our burrow worm. He's going to appear right in the center of the room. I think we're going to use that trap right away because that might be the only way to save our guys. Now, for the gnolls, I'm not actually going to use gnolls. I got these cool looking frog guys. See this one here that looks a little bit like a shaman? He's going to be our sergeant, and then I got 3 more frog guys. Let's roll our direction die to find out where he comes on the table. In the northwest corner, which reminds me, we do have a treasure token here and here, and those treasure tokens are treasures. If we can get one of our guys over there, we'll be able to score those. But the big thing is saving these Eternians. I do have 3 of our zombies. Let's take a closer look at those guys. They look a little something like this. The lighting's not great in here. You'll have to forgive me. That's about the best I can do at the moment. We'll try to get some close-up shots, and they're going to appear in the northeast corner. One more thing I forgot to point out. By climbing 4 inches up the wall and climbing through a hole in the roof and 4 inches down, you can enter the farmhouse via anywhere. Otherwise, the only way through is the doors. You can attack through the windows, but the windows provide a -2 to your attack roll. If you are attacking meleeing somebody in there. So what this means is, on this first turn, we're going to activate Thundar, and Thundar is going to go rush off and take on those zombies all by his lonesome. We're going to activate this archer. We're going to move him over to the window here. I guess I should have a ruler in hand, shouldn't I? Here we go. In fact, we're going to activate both of these archers. So this archer can move 6 inches to here with his first action, and then we've got 2 archers that are going to fire at the... Should we target the sergeant? Well, let's do these 2 guys first. We're going to take aim with this guy. He's going to be at a total of +3. The other guy's going to be at +2. We'll do the +3 first. It's a 2 fight score of 2, shoot score of 2, becomes a 3. As always, the red die will be for our heroes. That's a total score of 23 versus our frog fighters armor of 10. They have 10 health. That is a killer blow right there. Kabow. So that's our first casualty of the game. The other guy is fighting at 2 versus 2. The red die is our hero. 18, we'll re-roll that. 18 versus 8, that is a 20. Ultimately, that's a score of 20, so that means 20 versus the armor of 10 and the health of 10. And look at that. These Eternian archers are pretty solid guys. 2 down. That means our hero gets to take his activation. We're also going to take our trap. We'll trigger that. And the burrow worm... Ooh, let's stand that up. Okay. We're also going to take advantage of the burrow worm springing the trap. Rolling, we get a 22 versus a 19. What's the burrow worm's fight score? I think he's pretty tough. It's only 3. All right, 23 versus 3. 23 minus the burrow worm's health of... armor, I should say, of 10. 13 points of damage. 13 points of damage. He has 14 health. That means we need to put down a little casualty marker. The burrow worm comes onto the board with just 1 hit point. I'll take it. Now we send our big boy off to draw some aggro. He's going to use both of his moves to come around. Well, actually, 9 inches. Actually, let's draw. Let's bring him up this direction right there. And that means that our zombies are going to move in on him. That is the end. He has to use both of his actions to do that. He doesn't have any missile weapons. Our zombies are going to take the most direct route possible. They only have a move of 4, so they can only move 6 inches. So we'll actually bring them all 3 this way, like bang, bang, bang. I think that's close enough. The frog guys have and because they're frogs, let's say they can jump, we'll give them like a bonus to their climb skill. They are amphibious, so we're lucky they didn't appear over in that corner. They can move right through the pond without any issues, as opposed to the gnolls, right? I actually am playing a slightly more difficult game because I gave them that amphibious. I'm just super tough like that. But how fast can they move? 6 inches? So they're going to move to the nearest guys, and that's going to be a total of 9 inches, which will put them right there, and we'll put that second one right there. And then comes the burrow worm. The burrow worm is going to attack this little noble Eternian, and as a civilian, that Eternian has a fight score of nothing. The Eternian, however, gets a total of 17, which is enough to kill. Look, our civilian just took out the burrow worm. We're doing really well, aren't we, gang? I'm a little nervous. This game is streaky, isn't it? That is the end of the enemy's phase. Now our good guys can go, and I think I want to try to grab some loot. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring He-Man over here. He can move 6 inches on his first turn, on his first activation. That takes him to there, and then he's got another 4 inches of movement. We'll bring him around to this side. And then we're going to bring... this might be a little bit dangerous, but I'm tempted to bring Ukla over to help deal with these zombies as well. Maybe we should bring Ukla around the other side. This guy gets an activation as well, but I kind of think we should leave him in there. In case anything else appears in the room, what do you think? Or should we send him out to help defend against one of the doors? Let's bring him down to this door at least, so if anybody gets through the door, he's standing in the way. And then we'll bring... Ukla is going to move up to the point that he is equidistant. We're going to have to roll for each of these zombies to see which of the two heroes they converge on. She is able to throw knives, but she has to stop right there. So she uses her first action to move up, and her second action to shoot at this guy. She has those wrist lasers. They're really throwing knives, but for flavor, we call them the wrist lasers. And she's not terribly good with them. Ariel has a shoot score of nothing. Oh, it's a range of 8 inches, so we can just leave her right there. She's 8 inches away from the zombies, but either way, she missed. And I think that's the end of the turn for our heroes. Anybody hasn't gone yet? Our men-at-arms moved up, readied himself. I think that's it. Moving on. Well, so what's the last thing we do? We turn over the next card. We get a 4 of hearts. And a 4 of hearts tells me that, I'm glad our trap went off, place 2 Gnoll archers, 2 Gnoll fighters, and 1 Gnoll sergeant at a random point on the table edge. Oh, that's just great. We are getting all the bad guys out of the way. Northwest corner. So I guess the Gnoll camp was off in that direction, huh? He-Man's in trouble. Instead of Gnoll archers, I'm going to use these little bright blue lizard men with the spears. They don't have bows, they have spears. And they'll appear over here in this corner. I do have another frogman to represent our Gnoll fighter. And then I have one more. This guy here with the 2 double swords, he's going to be the sergeant. So they all appear on this corner right there at the end of turn number 1. We advance our turn counter to turn number 2. And kind of a tower defense game going here, huh, gang? Let's start with our archers once again. And this is the ranger phase. So our archers are going to take a shot. The first archer shoots at the sergeant. He gets a 17, which becomes a 17 versus 14. The 17 becomes a 19. He uses both actions. That's an aim. That becomes 20. 20 minus 10 for the Gnoll sergeant. He has a +3 to fight, and he has an extra little bit of health. But I don't know if that does him any good, because this result of a 20, it does do him some good. He's going to be left with 1 hit point, isn't he? Gnoll fighters have 10 health. He's got 11. This is going to do 10 points of damage. So the sergeant winds up with 1 hit point. For the second shot, oh, we should have shot that guy. He'd been eliminated. For the second shot, we get another 20. That eliminates this Gnoll fighter. Man, these archers are MVPs. They're tearing it up. Now, because Thundar is such a killer leader, he's got a special ability. Once per game, he can activate 3 companions. He's going to activate He-Man as well. He-Man says, I don't want this guy getting anywhere near my buddies. He is about 6 inches away, even running around the corner. So he gets into combat and says, let's throw down, buddy. And he gets, that's cocked, we're going to re-roll it. He gets a 13. He loses. The sergeant gets a score of 22. He does 12 points of damage to He-Man. And He-Man has gone berserk because this is his people here. This is Eternia he's defending. And that's going to leave him with just 3 health. Taking the 12 points of damage. Wow, yeah, 22. Oh, he's got an armor of 11. So he takes 11 damage. He's going to wind up with 4 health altogether. And that's going to be it for... Well, it's not it for the ranger phase, because our ranger can go. And I guess our ranger is going to go full bore right at that zombie. He's close enough now. He's going to fight the zombie all by himself. He's going to wind up fighting all 3 with a result of 24. Oh, he's got a better fight skill, too. Fight skill of 4, he gets a 23 altogether. That's going to minus the zombies. These swamp zombies are not great. They've got an armor of 12 and only 6 health. So this first zombie is going to go kersplat. Now the enemy gets a vote, and we'll start with the guy that is already in combat. Rolling an 18 plus 3 is 21. 16 plus our He-Man's fight skill of, where are you at? 4. So that'll be 21 plus 20 is He-Man is slain. Oh, well, I guess we probably shouldn't have sent him off alone on his own, but that's going to be the end of that guy's activation. So we can bring these guys up the 9 inches to here. Now, our archers are going to move up 6 inches, and they're going to move towards the target point. They don't have line of sight. They're going to move 9 inches to here. The reason they're going to do that, they're going to come around this direction because they actually do have line of sight to a hero over here. They can. Old Thundar is going to be taken. We'll move him up 6 inches. We'll move him to here. Remember, our table is a little small. That's unfortunate. It makes the scenario a lot harder for us. Let me bring them on camera here a little bit. So these 2 archers don't have line of sight to these 2 archers because their allies are in the way. But if we use one action to move these archers, they can fire at Thundar. And that is the table is 2.5 feet. Bows have a range of 2 feet. So Thundar is going to take 2 shots. And the first shot is going to be Thundar with a 16. He'll win. And the second shot, Thundar with a 21, is also going to win. So he is missed on both of those. Then our 2 zombies are going to go. We got a zombie here and a zombie. Well, one zombie moves up to fight. And with a 20, scores a critical hit. The 20, add the zombie's fight skill of... Oh boy, it's all falling apart. 0. At least it's only 20. Our barbarian, Thundar, has an armor of 10. He's going to take 10 points of damage, leaving him with just 9 health. To make matters worse, the second zombie is going to pile in, and now the second zombie is going to be fighting with a bonus, but it's not going to matter because Thundar wins with a score of 22. Second zombie gets crushed, and now it is the companion phase. I don't like that wave of bad guys coming around that direction. So the first thing we'll do is bring Ukla up. And now this zombie is fighting 2-on-1. Ukla rolls a 12. Okay, the zombie winds up with a 15. Ukla's, if we add up all of the bonuses here, Ukla's fighting at +4. So Ukla's already at 16. He's got help. That turns him to 17. I think it's +2, 18. So 18 minus the armor of 12 is 6 points of damage. This zombie is eliminated. So we're racking up the kills, but we got a long ways to go here, guys. Ariel is going to cast her heal spell. It's 8 inches away, giving Thundar another 5 hit points. So from just 4 hit points, what did we say he was at? 9 hit points? He will go back up to 14 hit points. And I think we're going to need it. We can move these guys, but I don't know if I want to yet. Instead, I think I'm going to bring my man-at-arms up to here, and he's going to block that door, just in case our enemies get through the door. That is the end of the turn. Everybody's gone, and we draw a black 5 of clubs. On our random chart, the black 5, a swarm of stinging insects swirls through one of the rooms of the farmhouse. Randomly choose one room. 1 through 10, 11 through 20. 1 through 10. The room with the archers. Every hero must make a will roll or suffer 2 points of damage and only get 1 activation. Our archers, the will roll is toughness number 12. Our archers have a will of +1, so we got to roll 11s. Blue will be for the near one. Blue fails. He is going to take 2 points of damage, and that drops him down to just 8 health. I'm going to put a marker on him. Got to remember, he has taken 2 damage. He doesn't have 2 left. This guy has 1 point of damage. We're going to do what we did before, and we're going to start with our 2 archers. Now, this archer, because of the swarm of stinging insects, he only gets 1 action. He's going to be making a straight fight roll against the sergeant, and he fails miserably and misses. The other archer will do likewise. He attacks the sergeant, and he also misses. Things are falling apart over there, guys. We're going to have to bring Thundar over all by his lonesome. We'll see if he can do better than He-Man did. We have 1 more activation. We'll bring him 9 inches. That's going to bring him basically to the corner of the house. And at a minimum, we may wind up charging those archers. That's it for the ranger activation. Now we have to do the enemy, and this enemy will wind up moving to here and attacking that archer at a -2. So he's only at a total of plus. What is our archer's fight skill? The archer has a fight skill of 2, and that Knoll Sergeant has a fight skill of 1. Remember, he's attacking through the window. So with a result of a 20, this sergeant is slain. Then this guy will move up, and he'll fight. Now this is going to be evens on this die, and on this die we're going to be at +2. So with a fight skill of +2, I think that does 7 points of damage. Frog fighters have an armor of 10, 7 points of damage, leaves that frog fighter with just 3 hit points. Then the other frog fighter will come up to this guy, and will wind up fighting the exact same way. With a 5 versus a 6, that's a miss. The frog. Now, what happens here when you're defending an obstacle? The frog fighter will push him back. We'll say that he's pushed him back. Oh, this is actually a sergeant. He's at a total +3, but he still doesn't do any damage, even if he wins. He gets a 9. Oh no, he's only at +1. It's a 7 versus a 7. It's a straight up tie. They stay locked in combat, and that means that our fighter guy doesn't have to spend an activation. I guess it doesn't really mean anything. We do have 2 more shots at Thundar the Barbarian. The first one will be a miss at 22 versus whatever, and this one is going to be a 19 versus an 11. The 19 hits, does 8 points of damage. Ooh. I'm glad we healed up Thundar. He's down to just 6 hit points. But if he gets into contact, he's just gonna tear him up, isn't he? In fact, it is now our hero's turn, and I think we need to bring Ukla over to assist. Ukla is also going to run 9 inches. He's going to be a little bit behind Thundar. In fact, we may need to just swap out and bring Thundar back out of the way. Who has not gone yet? I'm going to do something a little nutty here. I'm going to bring this nobleman. He says, you know what? I'm not afraid of these guys. I'm going to move 3 inches to there and 3 inches down here, and then I'm going to sneak along the wall 1.5 inches into the grass here. He's going after the treasure token. There's a treasure token over there, and he wants to see what's in it. That may wind up costing him, but you know what? We got to use these guys. That is it, except for, I guess, let's bring Ariel. Oh, you know what? What do we want to do with her? She can teleport 9 inches, but she's really not much of a fighter. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring her into the. I'm going to move these out of the. Well, I better leave the doors just so we can see where we're at. I'm going to bring her over to here, so she can start shooting through that window as well. I think that's probably the best place for her. That is the end of turn number 3. Now we draw the King of Hearts, and then we move on. Let me advance the shot clock to number 4. The King of Hearts is Red King. Place 1 giant spider in a random corner of the smaller farmhouse room. Oh man, a giant spider. All right, 1 through 5 through 6, 15, and 20. 9. So the spider is going to appear right there, and these spiders are awful, aren't they, folks? Turn number 2. I have to act. Oh boy. How do I do this? I didn't know somebody else was going to appear in the. But you know, you can look at the random events beforehand. I never really do. Do I have any other abilities that I can take advantage of here? Princess Ariel can cast a slow, which slows down some fighters. That's not going to do us any good. All right. I'm going to activate this guy, and he's going to run 6 inches over to attack that spider. Kablow. The giant spider has a fight. Our man-at-arms has a fight of +3. The spider has a fight of nothing. So the red die is at +3. The red die loses. The spider does 17 damage to a guy who has an armor of 12. That means 5 points of damage, leaving him with just 7 health. I have only got the one of them, so I'm going to track his health on the page. He is now wounded. Then we're going to... Then we're going to fight this... This guy is going to try to kill... This archer is now just fighting at +2 versus nothing. We get a 16 versus an 8. The 16 wins. It does 5 points of damage. So this archer here goes to just 3 points of damage left. And that is going to be not quite the end of the turn. I am going to race Thundar over 9 inches to here. And that means he is, on the bad guy phase, going to eat 2 bow shots again. And the first one, holy cow, 17. That is going to be enough. Oh, shoot. Still on the Ranger phase. Do we abandon Ukla? We don't have a whole lot of hit points left on Thundar. I kind of think we do. I think we're going to leave Thundar over on this side of the battlefield. He's going to pull back 6 inches to here. I got a bad feeling that some bad guys are going to appear around here. He has a heal spell. He's going to bring himself back up to, he was at 14. He's going to go back up to, no, he was at 6 hit points. He's going to go up to 11. Sorry, Ukla. That means these 2 archers are going to just open fire on Ukla. Now, the good news is Ukla has a fight skill of, he's pretty good. Fight skill of +4, 15 health. The guys that are shooting at him score a 20, so it doesn't matter. Ukla is going to take 10 points of damage on this first one. This is a real archer battle here today. He is going to be down to just 5 hit points now. Wait. I think it gets worse than that because the frog archers have a shoot of +2. He is down to just 3 hit points. Oh, man. And he's got to fight another one. Is going to take a shot. And that one at least will miss. Or he'll hit, but with not enough damage. The sergeant is fighting at +1. The sergeant gets a 13 to the archer's 11. The sergeant hits and does 2 points of damage to this other archer. And this guy takes 2 points of damage. So he is down to 8 hit points. The other fight down here is just a straight fighter fighting Magai. And Magai is going to roll a 16, 17, 18 versus a 14. 18 minus the 10 is going to do more than 3 points of damage. And now another bad guy's gone down. So we're killing a lot of these bad guys. But is that the end of the turn? No. Spider is going to attack. And I think we forgot to do this guy's attack against the spider. Maybe they tied. Let's just call it that. So our man-at-arms rolls an 18. Add the 3 for his fight. He gets a 21 against a spider that has an armor of 8 and only 4 health. So the spider goes squish now. Oh, you'll love to see that. Now we have one more man-at-arms. So that's it for the enemy phase. I think all the enemies have gone. So we can move our guys. Let me just spin this camera just a little bit more to show you what we're looking at here. See this treasure token down here? This civilian says, I want it. It's going to cost him 4 movement to get to there. And he's got 5 more so he can get over to here. And on the next turn, he's going to be able to scoop it up. That does leave Ariel. She doesn't have any shots. So she's just going to hang out in here. I don't know what else to do with her, to be honest with you. Ukla is going to rage charge 9 inches to get to here. And everybody has gone now, except these 3. And I'm going to bring them to the center of the room. That's really what we're going to do. We're trying to save these civilians. We could cast teleport with her. She can teleport 9 inches. And we're going to do that. She's going to use her teleport ability to hide behind that bush. We may be able to run her over. There's another treasure just by that rotten haystack. But that's for the next turn. We're done with this turn. Now we have... now we draw a 2 of clubs. And on a black 2, a break in the clouds reveals a single star shining in the sky. Pick a hero. That figure is returned to full starting health. Okay, we needed that. That means Thundar is back up to 19 health. That's worth 8 points of healing. We'll take it. But that is the end of the turn. We will advance to turn number 5. We're only a third of the way through this scenario, guys. I don't think we have any choice here. We have to activate our Ukla companion. He's going to go right at him. He doesn't want to take any more bow shots. We'll put him right in connection with both of those guys. The first one that he fights will be at +2. So Ukla is going to be at +2 on the red die. Or no, let's just leave him right there. He's just going to fight the one guy. And Ukla scores a 21. Minus the 10 does 11 points of damage. The first archer goes down. Then we'll fight. We're going to bring this archer into contact, and he's going to fight this sergeant. Now, because there's two guys defending the window, we'll give our archer a fight skill of 4 versus a fight skill of just 1 for that sergeant. So the sergeant scores a 1, and we're going to wind up pushing him back 1 inch. Then Thundar gets to go, and old Thundar is at full health. So where do we want to take him? I kind of think I'm going to bring him inside the room. I'm afraid there's going to be more bad guys appearing here, and not just this giant fly. I'm afraid there's more bad guys going to appear inside the farmhouse, and it's not going to go well for us. So let's go ahead and bring him. We'll put him like right there, I guess. That's pretty good. That way, if anybody appears in these two corners, any more spiders show up, they'll go for him and not our civilians. It is the enemy's turn, so our bow guy is going to take a shot, and he's going to miss with a 19 for Ukla. And then this sergeant will run up, and he'll fight one of our archers, and he'll score a 19, which becomes a 20, versus, now he's being double teamed, so what do we got here? We got a 17 plus 2 is 19. It's not enough. This guy is going to win by a score of 20. Minus 11 does 9 points of damage to a guy that only has 8 hit points, and we've lost an archer. Oh boy. Now, I don't know if that archer is dead, or if we check on the what happened to him chart. I think we check on the what happened to him chart to see if he survives or not. That's the archer that activated already. No, this archer activated. The other one did not. All of the bad guys have activated. That means it's time for our companion phase. Princess Ariel is going to have to use both of her actions to get in contact with the treasure. It takes an action to pick it up. She has not picked up the treasure yet. This guy moves and picks up the treasure, so he's picked it up. On the next turn, he can drag it back to the farmhouse. Any other companions haven't gone? This guy has not. He's going to run the 6 inches over to here, and he's going to fight that Knoll sergeant, or the Frogman sergeant. And even with his bonus of 5 versus 1, he's going to lose that fight. The good news is he has an armor of 12. He only takes 2 points of damage. Remember, this archer is down. He only has 3 hit points left. Our man-at-arms has only taken 2 hit points of damage. And I think that's going to end the turn, unless we want to scatter these guys. We'll put the good wife in there. She can hide behind those archers. And I think that's it for the turn. We turn over a card, and we advance the shot clock to turn number 6. At the end of that turn, the red 10 means, and last time I used two cards of each suit or each type. This time I just have the one. And I think that works way better for this particular scenario, because there are just a couple of extra cards per, compared to the number of turns you have to play through. And that means a troll appears at a random point on the table. Here's our troll. Look at the size of this guy. He's a beast. Let's see if we can bring him in a little closer. Look at that guy. I think this is the first time I've had the troll on the table. Rolling on a random location, he's going to appear at the center point of the western table edge, and that's not good for Princess Ariel. Nor is it good for, man, it's not good for any of these guys, to be honest with you. That is the end of turn number 5. Moving on to turn number 6, we'll bring Thundar over to here, and he's going to taunt that troll. We'll see if we can get that troll over. We'll see if we can get him closer. We're going to bring Ukla into contact, and he's going to fight that archer. The archer has no bonus. Ukla is going to win the fight, and he's going to trade places. Oh, no, he's not going to trade places, is he? He wins the fight, but he doesn't do any damage. He's only got a +4. So that's going to be the end. Then we're going to use Princess Ariel is going to use her first action to pick this up. She's going to use her second action to run away because she's afraid of that troll. We have had 3 companions go. Now the bad guys get... Oh, you know what she's going to do? No, I take it back. She's going to use her first action to cast a slow spell on this troll. This troll has to make a will save, toughness number 18. He's got +2, which means a 16 or better succeeds. He rolls a 12 and he fails. That means his speed is reduced by 3. He was already only moving at a speed of 4. He's only going to move 1 inch per turn. We got time. Then she's going to use her second action to pick up the treasure, and that's going to end the ranger phase. Now the bad guys go, and I need to check some distances because the troll is going to move to the nearest figure it can see. It can see, and I probably should have checked the range. I think that spell has a range of 8 inches, so she's 8 inches away. Thundar is more than 8 inches away, and I don't know if he can see. Yeah, she's the closest, this guy down here. So he's going to use both actions, and he's going to move 1.5 inches to there. That may be critical for this game. We may be able to just run away from this guy. Then we'll do the fight for this poor archer over here. Ukla, you got to finish him off quick, buddy. He gets a 12, which does 2 points of damage to the archer. The archer just scores a 10, so that's it. The archer does have a... Oh, let me double check here. The archer has a frog archer armor of 10. Yeah. Well, he's only got a fight +1. But he does have 10 health. Well, now he's got 8 health, doesn't he? We're fighting at +1. This guy is fighting at +4. So red die at +4. Red die gets a 9. The 18 minus 11 does 7 more points of damage. Now we're down to just 1 hit point and 3 hit points. Even with the defensive ability. Well, I mean, to be fair, these archers have killed a ton of frogmen, right? And I think that's it for the bad guys. We just have 3 of them on the table. That's going to end turn number 6. We're going to move on to turn number 7. And the last thing we do on turn 6 is find out who the reinforcements are. With a red 6, place 3 zombies at a random point on the table edge. All right, let's find out. Southwest. Yep, there. Oh, wait. I forgot one guy. 3 more zombies appear just off here. Here's kind of what they look like. I did forget to mention this guy ran back for the doorway. And we may want to bring him around. I might bring him to the south here a little bit. He's going to run around the rough going. This is the situation at the start of turn number 7. We have one super slow, only moving 1.5 inches. Troll. Who do we do first? Let's start with our... Thundar's going to just hang tight. Should we run for safety first? I think we should. Princess Ariel is going to move 6 inches to here, and then she's going to move another 3 inches. You know, let's just say she's got to move the 3 inches to here, and then we'll bring her 6 inches like so. We got to keep her well away from this sergeant. So that's one companion. Ukla is going to try to shut down this archer, and with a 2, he's going to fail. Not only that, but the archer with a score of 19 is going to just rack him hard. Ukla losing to an archer. Ukla, what are you doing, baby? You got to do better than that. The archer has a fight skill of 1. Ukla has no armor. So he's going to take a total of 9 points. You know, I forgot. Ukla was down to 3 hit points. Ukla goes down. Ukla is down once again. This is the 3rd scenario in a row that we've had this situation. That's it for our companion phase. The sergeant is going to attack our bow guy. And the sergeant is going to win, and he's going to kill this bow guy. We're down 4 heroes. We got a lot of game left to play. The troll is going to move to the nearest visible enemy. That's still her. So he moves up to there. Then, let's see, he's gone. I've got 3 zombies that are going to move 6 inches in. Well, let's see. They're going to be chasing after this guy down here. He's the closest. So they'll move 6 inches to get as close to him as they can, like that. And then, you probably can't see them. There they are. There's all 3 of them. Who's up next? We've moved these 3. He fought. This guy is going to take a shot at her. And he scores a 20. 22, actually, because he's an archer. 22 What's your armor? 12 points of damage altogether. He scores a 22. She takes 12 points of damage. Princess Ariel got greedy. She is down to just 1 hit point. Because this little symbol here is a 21 minus, oh boy, oh, 21 minus her armor. Yeah, 11 points. She's only got 12 health. Oh, you know what? It's a good thing. After the last scenario, she got 1 extra health. That's the only thing keeping her alive. I think I know who we're moving first on our companion phase. She's already gone. That's next turn, though. Companion phase here is going to start with this archer. And this archer is going to fail. The bad guy wins. That pushes the archer back. Then it's going to be this guy race. Wait, did we move him already this turn? No, we did Ukla, Ariel, and our hero. So this guy on this turn will move 6 inches to here, and he's going to get back into the farmhouse with his loot. The archer fought. Everybody's gone. That's the end of the turn. Man, it goes quick when half your guys are dead. A 9 of hearts is going to be a red 9. Place 1 troll. Oh, there's another troll? Oh, this is ridiculous. And this troll is the guy with the great big honking sword. Where does he appear? Let me guess. On the west side? Northwest side. All right. So he appears up here in the corner. And he is not slowed. Look at this disaster. Man, what a rough scenario. Thanks, Joe McCullough. Really appreciate that. We're on to turn number 8, by the way. I got to check my character sheet, see if there's literally anything I can do to turn this around. Which companions? Well, obviously we gotta get her to safety. We just cannot afford to have her lose any more hit points. She's gonna run around to here. At least we picked up the treasures, right? If we can get through just 4 more turns with our treasures, maybe we should run away. Maybe we should get out of the house and force them to come at us. That might be a viable strategy. Remember that if the bad guys can't see anybody, they're going to head for this door right here. Since we only have to get through 4 more turns, I'm going to run away. This companion is going to race 9 inches to here. Princess Ariel is going to move to here. I can't remember if she did that on this turn or last turn. And Thundar, he's going to hang out right here just for a little bit longer until we get our guys to safety. He doesn't have any real abilities he can use at this point. I don't think he has to. We may wind up, because I think these zombies are more than 6 inches away. Everybody's going to start racing towards him, except for this. On the enemy's turn, he's going to climb up 4 inches and climb down 4 inches. And then he's going to move 1 inch to get closer to the good wife. This guy will move to here. We do have a shot with the archer. So the archer will be shooting at an even score, because our boy is inside. And with a score of 17 versus 15, Thundar is going to the arrow is going to brick off the wall. This troll can move 6 inches. Can he see Thundar? Get down and see. Yeah, he's just got a line of sight on Thundar, so he'll move to there. And then these 3 zombies can move 6 inches. They're a little bit too far away. We're going to lead them on a merry chase. This might not be the bravest ranger thing, but we're just going to get out of the way. Now, that means that our good wife is going to race 5 inches to here and then 6 to the door, and we'll bring her 3 inches this way. This might be a disaster. We're going to get a whole bunch of reinforcements over on the outside of the house now. I can feel it coming. We'll move these guys 9 inches. They can get out to here, and this archer already moved. This guy, I think we moved him to safety, didn't we? On this, no, he hasn't moved at all this turn. So we can move to here, and then another 3 inches. We'll bring him over there. We do still have the loot in our possession, and I think that's it for the turn. Yeah. More reinforcements. The Black Ace. Black Ace. Place 1 giant spider in a random corner of the larger room of the farmhouse. All right, 1 through 5. This is what I was afraid of. So 6. It's going to appear right in the doorway. our second giant spider appears right there at the end of turn 8. It becomes turn number 9. We just got to get through 3 more turns. During the ranger phase, we're going to fire away with this archer. Come on, guy. If I ever needed you to score high, it's right now. There you go. 20 is going to knock that guy out. And then old Thundar is going to exercise the better part of valor, and he's going to leave that archer to his own devices. That archer is going to say, hey, I thought you were coming with me. Now, Thundar is going to wait right there. And I think that might be it for him. We do have one more companion we can move, and we want to get as far away as possible. So we're going to come, our treasure boy is going to run down to this corner over here. I know it's off screen. Don't worry about it, because it's the enemy's phase. And our zombies now, zombies can't climb. I'm going to bring them around the side of the farmhouse, and they're going to come in through that door. What that means in terms of movement is it'll be 1.5 inches, and then they have a movement of 4 inches, slowed by half here. I think he's going to make it somewhere about there. I think it's close enough. This guy's going to come 3 inches to here, and then 0.5 inch, and then another inch to there, and then he's 4 inches, and he can move 1 inch and another inch. So I think that's probably pretty good. The zombies are clambering through the high grass. It works in our favor this time. This archer will move 6 inches to here. Now, remember, he's only got he's got 8 hit points left. And then he can move 3 more inches, and we may need to deal with this guy, because he's just going to start plinking away at our heroes. Meanwhile, this guy can move to here with both actions. This sergeant, he's close enough. He's going to be able to get into contact with our archer. Now, he doesn't have an action, so there's not going to be a fight this turn. And then this guy, can he see our archer? He cannot, so he's just going to lumber on over to here, and we'll bring him around the north side of the farmhouse too. I think he's out of the fight, because he's only going to be able to move 6 inches through the rest of the battle. But we'll keep moving along just in case, because he is a threat we got to consider. That's the end of the enemies. Now, we did 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to bring our civilians 9 inches down here, so we got them all grouped up right over there. And the last person to go will be Ariel, who is going to move 9 inches to here. That's it for turn number 9. Moving on to turn number 10, we're going to draw 3 more cards. The red 3 means 2 Gnoll archers and 2 Gnoll fighters at a random point on the table. And this is where we roll for the east. South. Okay, so that means down right about here on the south edge of the table, 4 more Gnolls. We get 2 more Gnoll archers. They look like that. And 2 more Gnoll fighters. Look a little something like this. And we're running away on turn number 10. We just got to get through 3 more turns. The good news is, the bad news is they have a clear line of sight to Princess Ariel. We can fix that, though, because it's the ranger phase. We're going to bring Princess Ariel over to here, and we are going to hide like that. We're going to bring Thundar to here, and we are going to hide again. We're just trying to maintain our line so that these guys go through the farmhouse. Our third activation will be this guy, this archer, still trying to take on the leader, and he's going to fail, and he's going to fail enough that he dies. Oh boy, so all of our reinforcement soldiers have fallen at this point, and it looks really ugly because the enemies are going to go. This guy is going to move 6 inches to here, and he's got a clear line of sight. He's going to take a shot with his second action at one of our civilians. He's going to miss. So we like that. Let's get these cards out of the way. This looks ugly. I'm going to put them over here in the garden, okay? This troll is going to move 6 inches to here. And he's going to have a line of sight to these guys. Our other troll is going to lumber, wait for me, guys. And then our zombies are going to say, I'll go 2 inches to there, and then 2 inches to here, and we don't have line of sight. So he'll move his other 2 inches. They're all going to move up like so. Then we have, now our archers don't have a line of sight, so they'll use their first activation to move to here. And oh, look, I can see Thundar. So he's going to take 2 more shots, and he's going to take 1 shot for 13 for 2 points of damage. And he's going to take a second shot for, oh boy, 20. That's 12 damage altogether, I think. Now, he does have 19. He has an armor of 10. So that's going to be a total of 10 points of damage on that second one. And it was only 2 on the first, so he's down to just 7 health. Okay. And then these guys are likewise going to say, I can move 6 inches to here. And oh, look, 3 more inches. Oh, we should have moved them first, huh? And now what do? We still got to get through 2 more turns. We don't have enough turns to run away. Or do we? At least 3 of our civilians can go hide behind the bushes here. I don't think we moved this guy yet either. He's going to go hide behind the bushes too. Everybody else is gone. That's the end of the turn. Let's find out what enemies we have. 8 of hearts. 2 giant flies at a random point on the table edge. 2 giant flies appear to the south. So they're going to come on down here. And remember, the giant flies can fly, so they're not going to be at all impressed with the... They're going to appear right about there, just on the table edge. They're not going to be at all impressed with the farmhouse. All right. This is turn number 11. We're going to get through 2 more turns. We're going to use our companion phase. We're going to have to fight 1 turn. So Princess Ariel is going to race 6 inches to here. Thundar is going to race 9 inches. He's got to put some space between him and these other guys. He's going to race to there. We got to put him right there. We're going to put him... I know that's kind of cheap and chicken, but at least he can draw aggro in the wrong direction. These guys are hiding from that archer and that guy there. And I think that's it. I think we're done moving. Now the bad guys go. And in this case, they're going to start by moving. Well, this troll can see Thundar, and he's going to head in that direction. This archer is going to use his first action. Well, what does he do? He can see Thundar over this little bit. He's going to take a shot. I'm going to play it rough here, guys. He's going to get a 16, but Thundar is behind light cover. So instead of +2, he's at +1. He gets a 17. Thundar is going to evade that arrow. The zombies are going to move to the door, and then they're going to move in a random direction. For their second activation, they're going to move directly east for 2 inches. And they can smell blood. They can smell the hot blood of these Englishmen. These Eternia men, I guess you could call it. These guys will move 6 inches to here. They'll catch sight of Thundar, and they're going to race another 3 inches down to try to get in contact with him. These guys likewise will move 6 inches, and then, I don't know, am I playing this kind of cheap, guys? Let me know. And then they can move, they'll catch sight of Thundar, or actually at this point, they'll catch sight of those guys. I think we need to fire some shots. We're going to take 2 shots at the good wife. I think that's only fair. The good wife, sorry, lady, she's going to take a shot of 16, but we're going to give her +2 for the cover, okay? So 16 is a hit, and the other one is a miss. That's going to do, it's going to leave her with, she's got 6, how many hit points does she have? The civilians have health of 10, so she is down to just 4 hit points. She takes 6, like so. And then the turn is over. So what happens next? We draw 1 more... Oh, no, it's not, because these flies have a line on Thundar. And the giant flies can move a total of 9 inches. They're not worried about any kind of... So, yeah, Thundar is going to wind up having to fight these giant flies next turn. They come on to there. Thundar makes a perception roll with a toughness number of 6. If he is successful, he finds a quiver with a magic arrow. He does not. He's a little too distracted, but we'll take it because not having any more bad guys on the field is really going to pay off this turn, I can tell. What we're going to do is move. We got to move 3 companions. We're going to move the 2 loot carriers here. And wait, yeah, he's a loot carrier here. And then Thundar is going to move to, he's just going to stay right there. No, we need to get him away. He's going to move over. Let's see, he can move 1.5. And then he's got 4.5, so he moves 2.5. So he's just going to take off to right about there. Oh, he's even off camera, isn't he? There we go. We'll put him right here so you can kind of see where he's at. And he's going to do that. I know that's not quite the bravest, but he's trying to distract the bad guys. That's it for the companion phase. They've gone. He's gone. Our lumbering troll is going to slow to there. The big guy is going to move to here. He's not going to have movement to get there. The zombies are going to move 6 inches. Well, they can actually see Thundar, but they're not going to have room to get into combat. He'll have an extra 3 inches to go, but he's too far away to hit anybody. These guys are 9 inches away. Again, they're not going to have time to get to Thundar. These 2 guys, in fact, if we do this first, they're still going to be able to shoot at the good wife. So we got to roll 2 combats, 2 shots at the good wife. They're going to be rolling at +1, and the 7 won't do enough, and the 6 won't do enough. So she successfully defended the priest, and well, he's out of line of sight. She threw herself in front of the priest, was unable to hit. But the last thing we got to do here in this game is these 2 flies are going to zoop right on over to here. And that means Thundar the Barbarian with just 7 hit points has to fight 2 giant flies. The first giant fly is going to be at +2 for the companion versus +4 for Thundar. Thundar scores a 21 versus a 19. The first fly is dead. The second fly is also going to attack him. They're close enough. But the second fly does not have the benefit of his friend. And with a score of 20, the fly is going to hit Thundar hard enough that Thundar is going to die. Remember, he only has 7 hit points left, and he's only got an armor of 10. So Thundar also falls to the foes. Man, that did not go the way I wanted it to. The luck just ran out on us. Hey, we've been playing this for a long time. Normally I like to go through the final experience points and all of that, but given how long we've been playing, I think that's enough for today. We'll come back next week and we'll run through some experience and we'll talk about what's going to happen next because this mission ain't over. Till then, I'm praying for you.